Hey there, this is Cheney from Mix and Match Design Company, and I've got a couple of quick Photoshop tricks to share with you today, one of which is a brand new update from Photoshop from late fall, but I just discovered it and started using it, and it is awesome. It's a time saver for when you're trying to select an object and delete its background. And it works really well if you have complicated backgrounds. So for example, if you want to remove this kind of shadowed edge on the edge of this cabinet, you can do that much more easily and quickly. So I'm going to share that trick with you, and then one other that I found recently as well that's been a true time saver. So if you use Photoshop to create design boards, these tips are for you. So first of all, let's go over to our menu over here of tools, and we're going to hop over here to one of the object selection options. And forever and ever, one of my favorite tools has been this Magic Wand tool. And it's still a go-to for sure, but I recently found that they added this object selection tool. So if you pick that, it's going to allow you to pick various objects in here, and it has sort of a smart tool that will figure out that what you really want is this cabinet. Don't want the background, you don't want all the little details and shadows, but you really want this background. So if you're wanting to delete this, you want to make sure the layer is selected. So we've got layer 1 over here. And then all you have to do is when you hover over here, it's going to select this cabinet. So I like to just draw a little rectangle around it to tell the tool that this is really what I want to select. And you don't have to be super precise. You can just kind of click and drag and then release your mouse. And then it's going to take a minute to think about it and select your object. See how cleanly it did that? So you might have to do a little bit of work around the edges where it didn't quite get it exact, but that's pretty awesome and close. And then what you're going to want to do to delete the background is right click, select inverse, and then your background will be selected, and you can just hit the delete key on your keyboard. And then Command D to release it, and you've got a pretty clean object there. And I would go back through with probably one of the lasso tools and clean this up, but it's really quick and easy, and that's tool number 1. So the object selection tool, which you can find right over here. The second one, and I'll use a different example, is with this pillow. And traditionally I would just use the Magic Wand tool because this is something that has a high contrast area, and it would be really easy to just click and select this entire pillow and then delete the background. But I've discovered a little trick recently called Select Subject. So if you're under the Magic Wand tool or the Object Selection tool, you're going to see this little button here called Select Subject. And if you click that, it's going to think for a second, and then it's going to try to select the object as needed. Now I found that, I'm going to delete that, it worked really well for this particular thing under the Magic Wand tool. So you might have to just play around with it and see what works best. But the more you do it, the more you'll get used to how the tools work and what they're actually looking for when you click these buttons. So let's have it on the Magic Wand tool and then click Select Subject. And again, it kind of didn't get it exact, but it's a great tool that will sometimes automatically select only the pillow here, which is pretty amazing. So let's try the object selection tool on there and see if we can get it a little more precise. So I'm going to click and drag here, see if we can get that pillow. Aha, perfect. So now that we know that the object selection tool is really the ideal tool for this job. So I'm going to right click here, select the inverse so that I've got the background selected, then hit delete, and we've got our nice clean pillow that we can put into a design board. So those are the 2 tips I want to share with you today. I hope that they're helpful, and if you want to learn how to make design boards let's see if I have one handy, like this guy right here, then all you need to do is take my Photoshop class. It's called How to Make Design Boards in Photoshop, and it'll help you go from the ground up on how to create everything from perspective to getting these nice clean objects with selection tools, how to make things in perspective, all that good stuff. All right, we'll talk soon.